is back. Sam and oh God, what's up with you? Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive.
Interested in promoting your brand, business, or talent on Hip Hop News Uncensored? Hit me up right now at advertise@hiphopun.com. That's advertise@hiphopun.com. Hit me ASAP. Very affordable rates. Now to our regularly scheduled program.
You know, in watching the Verzuz, like all of them, of course, I enjoy the energy. I love it. Being a kid who had the opportunity, you know, to travel from Atlanta up to New York City every summer from 85 to 95, from the age of 5 to the age of 15, having real, like, strong ties, family, friends, business, personal, in New York. I have a different experience. You know, I had to go up there. And one thing about New York, if you ain't from New York, you got to go up there and earn respect. You dig what I'm saying? Ain't nobody just gonna respect you just off face value. You got to go up there and earn that shit. And so that's what I did. You know, I used to go up there, you know, from the time I was 5. Like, I think the first time I was going out, like actually going out to play on my own and finding friends in New York was probably about, let me see, probably about 89, 90, you know what I mean? When that's when I was going PS 83, no, PS 84, I think, on 92nd Street. You know what I mean? Hanging out with my partners, Louis, Fernando, Noel, David, you know, mostly Dominican and Puerto Rican cats. You know what I'm saying? Basketball here, there. I always sucked at basketball though, so stick ball, shit like that. And goddamn, bruh, every time I go up there, like, these are my friends, like, these are motherfuckers, I fuck with them, they fuck with me, you know. And every time I go up there, it's a motherfucker I have to fight, like, in the first week or two. Like, because these motherfuckers, they want to talk about how I talk. They want to talk about how much we different. I'm like, okay, well, look, I'm going to show you how much we the same. We going to get in the blender. You going to see that I ain't, come on, man. At the end of the day, we all, you know, we all real people. But after we got past that point, they saw, you dig? They saw that I wasn't much different from them. You know? They saw that we was kind of on the same, we was like rocking with the same shit and on the same principles and morals and standards that brought us together. And it, you know what I mean? Shit that we believe in, shit that we hold true and that we value. So I understand how the cultures may be somewhat divided, but the principles are the same. You know? And so I understand how there is a culture clash. I understand how, you know what I mean? I get it. And I understand how most of the shit that they be talking about Southern people come from, one, a lack of experience, and two, well, it comes from Southern people's lack of exposure. Because people in South Carolina, Alabama, some parts of Florida and Georgia, don't necessarily have access to the same type of lifestyle, knowledge, experience. They just don't have the same access to it. Just don't have the same access to it. You dig? So they can't necessarily be as affluent, okay, or as well versed in certain things as New York or their New York counterparts. That don't mean that they're lesser than. That just means that they're less exposed. You know what I mean? I'm from the South. I mean, I've been up there and I played my hand, and I think I made, you know what I mean? I done slapped bop with niggas. I done got it in with niggas, and then I done hung and cried with niggas when motherfuckers died or had, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, I got partners from up there. And shit, I got partners from down here too, and I understand that when you come down here, they don't understand what's going on up there. They don't even know what they missing. They don't even know what they missing. When I would travel from New York to come back down to Atlanta, and I share my experiences with my partners in Atlanta about what I experienced in New York, bruh, they don't want to hear that shit. I'm like, bruh, they got a big ass park, my nigga, that you can just go and hang and chill and kick it, and that motherfucker stretch out for miles and miles and miles. And bruh, you got a Times Square, and you can go to, you got just different. Trying to explain to an Atlanta nigga or a Southern nigga what the fuck a borough is, bro, it's a daunting task. But I just feel like, man, we have to understand and acknowledge, because most of the shit that I was going up to New York fighting about is the shit that came to pass. I remember I got into a big fight, nigga, about taking Outkast CD up there for the first time. I was about 12 years old, and Outkast had just came out, Southern Player Listed, and I think that was probably like right around the same time. Oh, Outkast, and we'll keep it on topic with Outkast, but just FYI, I think the Chronic had also dropped. Just shit that's other than New York. I think that's when New York was kind of having to accept the fact that there were other people in different regions that's doing this shit as good as them or better. You know what I mean? That was not a very comfortable accepting of the New York culture. And so me going up there and like, hey man, nigga, the Outkast shit, how the thing out? I think that might have been the same year that Wu-Tang came out, if I ain't mistaken. Or a big year or something. Like, it was a big year. It was a big year for New York too. But I'm like, hey, just as much as y'all celebrate this, nigga, you need to be up on this too, because this shit is, you know what I mean? I remember, man, we used to get to fights. We got to fight about this shit. And years later, the motherfucker like, man, that shit was. You put us up on that shit first, man, that shit was dope. But the thing is, why does it have to come to like fighting? Like, because to be honest with you, I didn't know Outkast at the time. These niggas didn't know Wu-Tang or Biggie or nobody. Like, what the fuck? Why can't we just understand this shit, man? It's great shit being done all over the motherfucking world. It's great shit being done all over the world, bro. So, when it get down to the Verzuz conversation about, you know, Puff and JD or me and 50 and that shit just hit different, bro. It's like, oh, okay, what you think, nigga? You think, oh, you think you can't, what, bro? What's up? What you trying to say? What you trying to say, bro? Just 'cause you from New York, you saying just 'cause you from New York, nigga, you like, bro, come on, man. We all getting money, we all having, you know what I mean? Everybody done did they shit, and that is, and for one, we can't ever get too mixed up in a conversation that's based on opinions. It's all based on opinions. You know what I mean? So, and then for a motherfucker to say, oh, nah, you can't see him, you ain't on his level. Why, nigga? Because you say so? Fuck is you? What have you done? What made you the motherfucking judge and the jury, the end all be all? I ain't gonna never let nobody tell me who the fuck I am and ain't fit to go against. Got me fucked up, partner. Nigga, I like me against anybody, everybody, all the time. I don't give a fuck who you are. So, when I see JD tell Puff, shit, bro, I won't smoke. I think, but I also understand Puff's perspective. Because I know what it's like to have my man. Puff called out Dre. Puff want Dre. I understand that. I called out 50. I want 50. So I understand how, you know, Puff might be like, yeah, man, I got something I'm doing right here. You know what I mean? I got something I'm doing right here. I ain't really trying to get into that with you. This ain't for us. I got something going on already. I get that. But to say, but you can't even compete, bruh. It's 12 months in a year. If you had it 6 months, he had it 6 months too. For me, lady, I'm on live. I can't answer the phone right now. She gonna get mad in a minute. Look, bruh, motherfucker was doing their thing too now. Motherfucker was doing their thing, bruh. Everybody been doing their thing, my nigga. You know what I mean? And it's gonna mean more to certain people who relate to what they hear because they came from a different place. You can't represent everybody. You don't represent everybody. No, none of us do. We represent the people we represent. We have our mark. We do our thing. But shit, bro. We all having it. We all having our way, man. Ain't nobody, man. Ain't no sleeping on that level. It just ain't. Ain't no sleeping on that level. Ain't no nigga feeling like, man, you know what I'm saying, I'm too big for these niggas down there. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. Give a fuck about none of that. Care about none of that. Love you, Puff. I love you, Jay. I love you, 50. I love all of you. Shit, nigga, I love me more. Shit. Ain't none of that, man. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that, bruh. And that's with all due respect. So, if we gonna speak on it, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. And that's all I got to say about that. I hope I can get this joint fired up. But I think we should focus on the things that bring us together more than we focus on the things that separate us and that, you know, kind of bring us apart. I think we all love music. We all done went through real shit in life and learned lessons. We've all taught each other, helped each other, supported each other. We all, you know, found different reasons to respect each other. So, man, let's just keep it. Let's keep the shit valid, man. You know what I mean? Keep the shit valid. And that's whether we ever choose to or not to do anything with each other ever again. But let's keep the shit valid, bro. Ain't none of that looking the other way, man. Pretending like Atlanta ain't goddamn dominating. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. Shit over with, man. Goddamn, years ago, man, my big homie, man, Andre 3000 said the South had something to say. And goddamn it, we saying it, been saying it, and then said it. Ain't none of that. It just ain't. If we being honest and true about it, it just ain't, bruh. Ain't none of that, oh, we from up here, so y'all niggas ain't, you know, come on, man, y'all niggas down here. And I ain't saying everybody's, whenever I speak truth, man, everybody say, oh, nigga, you saying you hate New York. Nigga, you got. No, bro, I don't hate New York. I love New York, nigga. I'm just as much, or not just as much, but it's the second place that I can say I'm from. I've spent just as much time there as I have, nigga, anywhere else besides Atlanta. And that means I have an honest observation. And shit, bro. It just ain't none of that. It just ain't none of that. Ain't no more looking the other way, pretending Atlanta ain't standing on top of shit. Just ain't. It just ain't. And we standing on top of shit now, but nigga, when JD had the shit, nigga, it was just him, for real. He was the only nigga down here really getting it. Even before LA came here, nigga, he was getting it. So, I heard a JD record way before I heard a Puffy record. I'm gonna tell you that. Not to say that, not trying to say JD's better, but to say that they aren't even fit or equal, equivalent match, it's preposterous. That's preposterous. I feel the same way about me and 50. I mean, 50 got big fucking records, huge fucking records. Big personality, nigga from New York. Represents his borough well, represents the city well. Never quite won that King of New York thing, but, that's another conversation for another time. And he sustained over longevitous period of time. But to say that there is a more glorious, illustrious, consistent catalog, to me, is to talk yourself in a circle just because you either intimidated by, impressed by, or just dumbed down by the fact that he is 50 Cent and he is from New York and you from New York too. I mean, I don't get it. But I'm just walking and talking, man. Shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Putting myself to sleep, really. Walking and talking, putting myself to sleep, man. If a motherfucker don't want to hear truth, man, nigga, it's a goddamn X up there. You can hit that motherfucker. You don't like what I'm saying? Yeah. Shut your ears off. When I start lying, stop me. But I think all this shit is great for the culture. I say this all the time, man. We can't progress or evolve by having comfortable, convenient conversations. Got to push the envelope. Got to press it. Got to press it to the limit, man. And everybody who keeps saying I should do a Verzuz, I would love to do a Verzuz. I was supposed to do one. The only other one that kind of made sense to me was the one with me and Young, me and Jeezy. And we thought that was it. But I talked to Swiss and Tim, and we were just talking about it. And I said, hey, bro, nigga, what folk really want to see? Nigga, what be the biggest thing for the culture is Guwap and Young. That should have, that's a no-brainer. But I said, but that should have never happened. And then, Swiss said, yeah, that should have never happened. And everybody was like, nah, man, that should never happen. And somewhere along the way, we came to the understanding, we came to the acknowledgement that this shit could actually happen. So I said, hey, bro, if you can make that happen, nigga, that's way more valuable. That's way more beneficial to the culture and everybody else than me and Jeezy doing some shit. That's way, like, that's, like, y'all do that. Y'all do that. That's more important. So I ain't got no problem that we didn't do that. What I wanted 50. Cause that's who I asked for. So then after that, it's like, yeah, not taking anything away from anybody who ever says that they would do it or they want to do it with, like, I ain't, like, trying to, this ain't nothing personal. It just, I just want to see, I just kind of want to see what I want to see. You dig what I'm saying? And I think that's probably what Puff feel. Probably how Puff feel. Puff probably feel like, man, he just want to see what he want to see. So I get that. But I think that's what we should say. Man, listen, bro. This ain't for us. I already got my sights set on somebody. Don't make it be bad. This ain't as good as that, and this, that, and that, man. Although you supposed to like you more than you like anybody else, I agree with that. But it just remind me too much of how I feel like 50 playing. That's all. And the thing they got in common is they both from New York. So I'm just kind of, maybe I'm thinking too much again. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I said it. And I'm going to stand by it. Indeed. But I believe whatever happens, man, the Verzuz shit has been so good for the culture. The Verzuz shit has been so good for hip-hop. That shit fly. That shit fly. I think Tim and Swiss, it really did something that's, you know, it's really unspeakable. They created a whole nother revenue stream, you know what I mean? They gave a new value to catalog, gave a new value to, you know, masters that were by, a lot of which were like dormant. Or at least, because it was a whole couple of generations that hadn't even been introduced to the work of the person or people that was, you know, that was being introduced to them. Like, think about Teddy Riley and Babyface. You know what I mean?